Hello, everyone on YouTube. Jim Baker here.
Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up. Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up.
Making a video today about Form W-8Ben, Form W-8BENE, and Form W-9. More specifically about Form W-8BENE, because I get so many questions about this form, because it's so confusing, and because I'm hoping to clarify a little bit of it for everyone here. So I'm making a video, and I'm going to break it into 3 sections, and I might chop it up into 3 different videos. And if so, I'll have the links to the second and the third video linked below. And they should all come out at the same time because I'm going to film it all at once. I think chop it into 3 videos because it might get a little long. Okay, so the first video, what is Form W-8BENE and why do I have to file it? Or I guess it's more appropriate to say, why do I have to complete it, right? So the first thing I want to share is that these forms are to certify and to verify your U.S. tax withholding status. And you can see at the top of every form, and I'll open them up, Form W-8Ben. So let's open up the first form, the W-8Ben, a simple form. And on this form, you can see, I'll make myself a little smaller. So on this form, you can see it is a certificate of foreign status of beneficial owner of United States tax withholding requirements. And do not use this form if you are not an individual. So this is just for an individual person. And if you have a single member LLC in the United States, then you would technically be required to complete this form and give it to whoever's asking you for it. It's generally someone who's paying you something. So these forms are needed and required to give to people, to companies, to businesses who are making payments and who are paying you for something. And these are almost always going to be U.S. companies. And again, they're doing it because they need to certify your tax status and see whether they need to withhold taxes or not. And that's a whole additional issue that I want to go over, and that I'm going to go over in the second videos, which payments are subject to non-resident withholding. But for now, I want to get over just the concept. This form, the W-8Ben, Form W-8Ben P. I'm going to open this one up too. This is for certificate of status of beneficial owner for United States tax withholding. It's the same thing. Do not use this for a U.S. entity or a foreign individual. This is for generally a foreign corporation. So we have a foreign individual, a foreign corporation, and Form W-9 we have, and I want to bring that up too. Form W-9 is for a U.S. person. So if you're a U.S. citizen or a U.S. resident or have a U.S. corporation, then you would complete W-9. And those are the general, that's who would complete W-9. So again, these forms don't go to the IRS. These just go to the person who's paying you, and they're held in case there's some issue in the future and you were subject to withholding and the U.S. company didn't withhold any taxes, then the U.S. company would be liable for those taxes after the fact. And there's no way to get them from a foreign person if you've already paid them. So for example, if I'm paying royalties to someone and I don't verify that they are a foreign person or not, and I don't withhold any taxes, then if the IRS comes back later and says you should have withheld these taxes and I hadn't done it, I'm liable for those taxes, which is why U.S. companies request these forms. The issue I have with it is that very often U.S. companies are misguided in their withholding efforts and withhold taxes on payments which aren't subject to withholding. Okay, so there's a lot of forms like this. The best example I like is rental payments. Payments to non-residents, rental payments paid to non-residents are subject to withholding. And think about it conceptually. And I use it for myself. Let's say I rent an apartment and my landlord, the person who owns the apartment, is some guy who lives in Argentina. If I pay him my rent every month, he's supposed to be paying tax on this income. He has a property, he's making it from doing business in the U.S. He has a property in the U.S. However, if I pay him and the money's out of the country and he doesn't file his taxes, I'm on the hook for 30% of what I paid him in rental income. So for those who have rental properties in their name in the U.S. and they don't want their tenant to withhold, I've never seen it happen, and I've tried to do it, and it doesn't even, people don't care. So W-8 PCI. This is a similar form. Let's open this one up too. Certificate of foreign person's claim that income is effectively connected with a trade or business. So this is basically if I'm paying my landlord rent and he is a foreign person or an LLC and he wasn't giving me a W-9, then I would get this filled out, and it's basically him saying that he is going to pay taxes on the rental income that I pay him, because it's what I have to pay to rent the apartment, and it's income to him. So that's kind of like, I think that's a good example of withholdable pay, of like the withholdings and the purpose of these forms. These are just internal forms to keep U.S. companies off the hook for withholding taxes that may or may not be required. Some are very clearly required, and I think that really goes over what is Form W-8Ben E and why do I have to complete it. And that's really what a Form W-8Ben. I'm just going to take it out. And what is Form W-8Ben? Why do I have to complete it? I think that's really it. You have to complete it to verify your tax status. And I say there is a company here making a payment in the U.S., and then there's a foreign entity, a foreign person, someone here that's receiving money from the U.S. entity. And the foreign person needs to verify their tax status with the U.S. person in case the withholding, well, if requested, first of all, and then the reason for it is to certify that their tax status to determine whether withholding is required or not. So that's the purpose of the form.